So this may come as a surprise to many of you, but I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. For one thing, I buy almost everything I get on Amazon. And the reason I do that is because I'm lazy outside of the show. For the show, I'm not lazy. I bust my ass and all that. But I'm lazy, and I also don't have time to like go shopping in the traditional way, and I find it a pain in the ass, and I'm not interested in it at all. So sometimes I feel kind of bad because Amazon, everybody knows Amazon has giant issues in terms of how they treat their employees and what they're doing to the marketplace and how they're virtually a monopoly. So I get almost everything I get on Amazon, and from time to time I feel bad about it. I'm like, ugh, I gotta stop doing this. And it's also worse than that because, as many of you know, I actually have an Amazon link for the show. So what that means is if you shop on Amazon and you use the Secular Talk link, it gives a kickback to us of like 5%. And it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it just takes a chunk of your purchase and diverts it to the show. And I feel bad about that too, but then on the other hand, somebody made a good point, and they said, well, actually, no, you shouldn't feel bad about that because you're actually taking more money away from Amazon when you do that. So if they're going to suck and exist, why not take some money from them and give it to you? I mean, that seems like a high-minded rationalization to me, but at the same time, I get that. So what I say to people is, if you don't already shop at Amazon, then don't shop at Amazon and don't worry about my link and don't do any of that. But if you're somebody who's like me, who's hopeless and you're lazy and you do, well then fuck it. Might as well use the Amazon link. So I feel bad about some of that stuff, admittedly. But I'm starting to feel even worse about it because I want you to take a look at this headline that I came across yesterday. Amazon paid zero in federal taxes in 2017. Zero. Gets $789 million windfall from new tax law. That's unbelievable. I don't even know what to say about that. So they say this. In 2017, Amazon reported $5.6 billion of U.S. profits and didn't pay a dime of federal income taxes on it. $5.6 billion didn't pay a dime of federal income taxes. The company's financial statement suggests that various credits and tax breaks for executive stock options are responsible for zeroing out the company's tax this year. During the previous 5 years, Amazon reported U.S. profits of $8.2 billion and paid an effective federal income tax rate of just 11.4%. $8.2 billion, they pay 11.4% in taxes. This means the company was able to shelter more than 2/3 of its profits from tax during that 5-year period. So this is a perfect example of rich people rigging the tax system. That's what this is. This is rich people rigging the tax system, corporations rigging the tax system in their favor and shifting the burden onto you. So if you think this is bad, and by the way, the 11.4% is bad enough. That's already hilariously low. And then they paid 0% in 2017. But let me show you a list here. This is from, I think, Citizens for Tax Justice, and it was in Mother Jones. This is from a few years back. But it shows you corporations that pay what's called a negative income tax, which is actually a little Orwellian in the wordplay that they do there, because they're not paying anything. If it's a negative income tax rate for corporations, that means they're getting a net subsidy. So they are getting a giant corporate welfare check from you, the taxpayers. You pay taxes when you make fucking $43,000 a year. They make billions in profits, and they net receive money from the federal government. So you can see here, General Electric had a negative income tax rate of negative 61.3%. So they net received a tremendous amount of money. American Electric Power, DuPont, Verizon, Boeing, Wells Fargo, FedEx, Honeywell, IBM, Yahoo, United Technologies, ExxonMobil. These are all companies that had a negative income tax rate of anywhere from about 0.7% to negative 61.3%. So I've said it many times before, but if you avoid paying your taxes, that's called tax dodging, tax avoidance, and you go to jail. If corporations avoid paying their taxes, that's called them using a tax haven. So notice the wordplay. Oh, you do it, you're a criminal. They do it. They're being smart. They're being smart, and they're using a tax haven. I think Bill Maher a while back had a good line. He said, it sounds like their money's laying on a beach and getting a fucking tan. It's a tax haven. But again, when you avoid your taxes, tax avoidance, and you go to jail. So this is the system that we have. This fact, it sticks with me all the time. But in the 1950s, corporations paid 33% of the federal tax burden. Today, they pay 9%. And Donald Trump just gave them an even bigger tax cut. So that tells you everything you need to know right there. The system's rigged. It's rigged in their favor. And now Verizon, with their second headquarters or whatever, they're saying they're shopping around city by city. Hey, who wants to give us more of a benefit for us to come to their city? Amazon's really important, and we do a lot of, are you kidding me? We do so many things that are so important and are so great, and we bring so many jobs that you need to lay out the red carpet for us. So you have people you have cities offering them billions of dollars to come and set up shop there. You have these crazy backwards ideas. One city said, if you set up shop here, we will make it so that a percentage of the taxes that your workers pay goes back to you. What? You're going to have workers pay taxes to their own corporation. So like workers who are paying for the privilege of working at that fucking place, are we like coming up with new ideas for feudalism and calling it something else? Because this is what it fucking sounds like to me. We should have a law that says no, cities, states, localities, you can't, even the federal government. You want to have a free market, have a fucking free market. Don't have a corporatist system where you have socialism for the corporations. That's corporatism. Socialism for the rich. Corporatism. Where you roll out the red carpet for rich people and you pay them a giant welfare check for them to set up shop. No, it should be a law. Nobody pays anything for a corporation to set up shop. If a corporation wants to set up shop somewhere, fucking set up shop somewhere. You guys are already massively profitable. Now you want taxpayers to fucking give you money so you can set something up there? Are you fucking kidding me? And then he doesn't even pay his workers a living wage, this guy. Jeff Bezos, of course I'm talking about. Unbelievable, man. Unfucking believable. People are not unreasonable. If you talk to people, you'll find out most of them believe in some form or another of a meritocracy. Like, okay, if the harder you work, the further you should go. I don't think everybody should make the exact same amount. That doesn't seem to make much sense. But what we have now is not a system that's a meritocracy, but they pretend it is. Like, they pretend it is. The people who are at the top of the system and rigged it, the corporatists, the oligarchs, they act like, well, if you just work hard, you get ahead. That's not true. That's not fucking true. And you have a system now where you hose middle class and poor people, you hose working people and force them to pay taxes, to pay for an already mega rich corporation to set up shop there so that they can create some jobs that aren't even living wage jobs and then avoid paying taxes again. Don't tell me this system isn't rigged in favor of corporations and the rich. It 100% is.